I had been dating Yvonne for a couple of years when the topic of marriage started to come up. And I would tell her that, yeah, I want to get married. Me too, she would say. I was holding on to a romantic vision for the proposal, one that had come from Yvonne. Now, I'm from Sturtevant, Wisconsin, and I moved to LA and met Yvonne, and we've been dating a couple months when she tells me this. I had a really vivid dream. What was it? Oh no, I can't say. Well, now you have to say. Okay, we were walking through a meadow of flowering trees, and we found a bench, we sat down underneath it, and then you pulled out an engagement ring, but you didn't say anything. I told you to say something, and you asked me to marry you, and then I woke up. 2 months into dating, she tells me this story. 2 years go by, she never mentions it again, I never let on that I remember it. That was the way I wanted to propose. I wanted to make her dream come true. In that time, I had learned that first, I was going to have to ask her parents for her hand in marriage. This was a revelation to me, and it came to me, thankfully, from my roommate at the time, Ben. Ben was from Oakland, and he just understood what a Mexican family would expect of me in a situation like this. But Ben's mom was from Minnesota, so he knew where I was coming from, too. And he told me, you better get that shit right, Murphy. And ask for her parents first, you little Midwestern motherfucker. Okay? So I made a plan. Valentine's Day weekend is coming. We always see her parents on weekends. I'll ask them then. I research gardens in LA, and I find the Huntington Gardens. It's a perfectly beautiful place. The big weekend comes. We drive to her folks' place. We walk into the apartment, and then I realize I've never pulled her parents aside to talk to them about anything. I don't think her father and I have spoken more than a couple times in the last year. Whenever we do talk, all I end up doing is learning a new swear word in Spanish. And the apartment is suddenly really very small. Where exactly was I going to pull them aside to? The closet? I needed a new plan. I'd bring up what a beautiful day it is, how it'd be nice to go outside to a garden. And Yvonne loves the idea. Yes, let's go to a park and get on the paddle boats. Paddle boats. She's thinking of Balboa Park in the San Fernando Valley. It's very crowded on the weekends, and there are some trees, but I don't think they ever flower. Paddle boats! This is the woman I want to marry. I cannot disappoint. So Yvonne and I, and her parents, off we go to the park. I'm thinking this is a good thing. Maybe I'll get a chance to talk to them. As soon as we get there, she takes me to the dock, and she wants to rent a paddle boat for as long as possible. We do. And we paddle up and down the man-made lake for 90 minutes. I can see her dad from the shore where he's fishing. I wave to him. He doesn't wave back. I have to call it quits for Valentine's Day. I'm back home. It's Monday. The Huntington Gardens are closed. It's President's Day. And Ben just gives me a low, slow shake of disapproval. That's it. I grab the phone, I call her parents. I ask her mom to get Jose Luis and put me on the speakerphone. This is all in Spanish now. I tell them they're like parents to me, so this is really very easy. And I am lying. I cannot conjugate a single verb. I want to ask your permission for Yvonne to marry me. Oh, you've had it for years, her dad tells me. Si pues, when are you going to ask her? Today. Yvonne to have to dream about me to ask in a park, so I to go to take her to LA. The Huntington Gardens are better. Huntington to be closed on Mondays. Ah, yes, Yvonne, why didn't you ask on Valentine's Day? I to try to ask it. We to come over able to after to dinner? Yes, of course, you then. To see you then. Adios. Oh, God. Yvonne, I do make it to the LA Arboretum that day, and just around closing time, before they sweep the park and escort us out, we find ourselves walking across a beautiful meadow filled with flowering trees. A yellow blossom draws us in, and we have to stand on tiptoes to smell it, and when we turn around, we see a fig tree, the crown catching the last rays of the sun, the bench underneath it already in twilight. She wants to sit down. She puts my arm around her, and then I take out the ring and put my hand in her lap. She sees it then. "Say something," she says. I did.